Steph Curry is probably the greatest three-point shooter ever, so you already know what his signature shot is. But what makes Curry so special is his unprecedented combination of volume and efficiency. He takes a ton, he makes a ton, and he does so in many different ways.
Curry for three, yes! A three, Curry, kaboom!
As a shooter, Curry is prolific, precise, and dynamic. So much so that he redefined how NBA offenses function.
He can beat you with catch-and-shoot threes, off-the-dribble threes, and fast-break threes. His numbers are crazy in each category. But let's start with the old-fashioned catch-and-shoot variety.
Overall, about 80% of NBA threes are assisted catch-and-shoot attempts, and guys like Kyle Korver, Klay Thompson, and Steve Kerr have all made careers out of exclusively relying on these types of shots. But while Curry thrives in many different ways, he's downright deadly as a catch-and-shoot threat. Since the league added its player tracking system in 2013-14, we've been able to look at shooting percentages on different kinds of three-point shots, and well, Curry has put up absurd numbers in the catch-and-shoot category over the past 7 seasons. He's made 926 of 2,031 catch-and-shoot threes during that time, which translates to 45.6%, the highest such mark among the 116 shooters who have attempted at least 1,000 catch-and-shoot threes in that time frame. Better than Korver, better than Redick, and yes, even better than his fellow Splash brother Klay Thompson. Opponents are rarely foolish enough to leave Curry open, but he's a nightmare to defend even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. When Steve Kerr took over the Warriors in 2014, the biggest change he made in the offense was to play more through the bigs. This change unlocked Curry in part because he became more of an off-ball threat, weaving his way through opposing defenses, hunting for shooting space on the perimeter. Kerr, who knows a thing or two about knocking down triples, designed sets like this to get Curry open catch-and-shoot looks on the edges. It seems obvious now, but back in 2014, this was innovative. In the Mark Jackson era, Curry was more of a traditional pick-and-roll point guard. Kerr set him loose and set the record books on fire by introducing more player and ball movement into the Warriors' offense.
Leonard takes a turn on Harrison Barnes this time. Curry another three.
He's oblivious to a defender closing on him.
The Kerr-era Dubs have always had great passing bigs like Andrew Bogut and David Lee, but Draymond Green has been a revelation as a playmaker. His emergence in that role really enabled the Warriors to let Curry and Thompson run free. It should come as no surprise that nobody has assisted Curry on catch-and-shoot threes more than Draymond Green, and it's not close. Draymond has assisted on 266 Steph catch-and-shoot threes since 2013-14, more than twice as many as the great Andre Iguodala, who ranks second with 131.
Still, as incredible as Curry is in catch-and-shoot situations, the thing that really separates him is his ability to create his own shots from downtown.
It used to be rare for the game's best shooters to dribble into their own triples. Now it's commonplace. What happened? Curry happened, that's what. In Steve Kerr's first few seasons, the Warriors won a lot of games, and Curry set the single-season three-point record 2 different times by supplementing those catch-and-shoot looks with unprecedented numbers of unassisted threes. As he entered his prime, Curry integrated his incredible ball handling skills with his lightning-fast release to generate a perimeter masterpiece. Unassisted threes became Curry's unique finishing move, and they also became the fastest growing shots in the league.
Curry crossover, three-pointer, bang!
It was marvelous to watch in the moment, but history will remember it as Curry changing pro basketball forever. It just wasn't immediate. High school Steph had to hoist the ball to generate power, but his retooled form made him a sensation from deep at Davidson. In the first 3 years of his career, Curry battled through injuries, and he never attempted more than 380 triples in a season. He was always a great shooter, don't get me wrong, but the volume wasn't there. Teammates assisted about 75% of Curry's made threes in his first 3 years. In other words, he was a fairly traditional three-point threat with a heavy diet of catch-and-shoot attempts. Everything shifted in his fourth season, the beginning of a 5-year stretch in which Curry led the NBA in three-point attempts every year and really started mixing in more off-the-dribble tries. Curry knocked down a then-record 272 threes during the 2012-13 season, and a remarkable 39% of them, 105 of those threes, were unassisted. It was a sign that the 24-year-old kid was paving his own way to greatness. Curry couldn't have broken Ray Allen's single-season record of 269 without all those unassisted threes, and he couldn't have made those without some of the best handles in the NBA. Much like Kyrie Irving, Curry can do things with the ball that are not just aesthetically breathtaking, but tactical, creating the space to launch the prettiest jumper in the world. His often dizzying pre-shot sequences effortlessly blend the dribble and gather into the more traditional rise and fire stages. He's reformed point guard play by perfecting an independent substitute for the typical pass, two-catch, two-shoot long-range attempts. In the middle part of last decade, Curry trounced on conventional wisdom by proving to the world that players could create and make their own threes and dominate the best pro basketball league on planet Earth. Without a doubt, Curry's masterpiece season was 2015-16 when he knocked down a mind-boggling 402 threes, a record that still comfortably stands today. Coming into that season, Curry already held the record in this category, but he had never come close to even 300. That year, he went off, making 45% of his career-high 886 three-point tries.
From midcourt, good if it goes, and he baked it in! He baked it in!
How did he get all those threes? Well, half of them involve assist opportunities, as Kerr and the Warriors emphasize his shooting in their offense, but the other half were self-created. On his way to blowing the lid off his own three-point shooting record, Curry leveraged 3 distinct unassisted techniques: pull-ups, coming off of a screen, and step-backs. He made a ridiculous 47% of 189 pull-up threes like this. He sank a red-hot 44% of 111 threes when dribbling over screens like this. And he drained 39% of 90 step-back threes like this. That's right, it was Curry who launched the step-back revolution, even before players like James Harden, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, and Trae Young turned the move into a fundamental weapon. Curry didn't invent the step-back, but he adopted the step-back and attached it to the wettest jumper the league has ever seen. It was crystal clear that Curry wasn't just the best shooter in the world, he was the most diversified shooter too. He could get to his deadly shot in so many different ways and in so many different places that he proved once and for all that a dominant three-point threat could be the most valuable player in the league. One of those 402 threes from 2015-16 will always stand out, and it also exemplifies a bunch of things that make Curry so special. On February 27, 2016, the Warriors played Kevin Durant and the Thunder in one of the best regular season games of the whole decade. The two teams traded haymakers for 48 minutes and ended up tied at 103 at the end of regulation. It was a Saturday night, and the best nationally televised game of the year was captivating NBA fans everywhere. Then Curry won the game and broke Twitter with one of the most remarkable plays in NBA history. At the very end of the overtime period, after Russell Westbrook missed a tough 14-footer with 8 seconds on the clock, the Warriors' Andre Iguodala grabbed the board and immediately passed it to Curry. The game was tied at 118. With just 5 seconds left in overtime, Curry now held the ball 70 feet away from the basket. 3 dribbles later, Curry was just barely across half court. A normal team and a normal player might have called timeout to draw up a play, but this was Curry in 2015-16 and normalcy did not apply. Mike Breen was calling the action for ABC, and he could barely keep pace.
They do have a timeout.
Just then, Breen's vocal pace hurried as he realized Curry had no plans of using that timeout.
Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown.
The ball hung in the air for half a second before folks at bars, chilling at home on the couch, or fighting off sleep at 11:24 p.m. Eastern were jolted by a double helping of Breen's trademark phrase.
Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining!
Not only did Curry not call that timeout, he calmly rose up 37 freaking feet from the basket and hit the shot of the year. The craziest thing about it, it wasn't crazy. As the ball hovered above the court, we all knew that 37-footer had a good chance of going in because it was Steph Curry, ruler of the deep before we ever uttered Logo Lillard. That shot exemplified another huge part of Curry's three-point arsenal, the transition three. For decades after the NBA added the three-point line, coaches frowned on players dribbling up the floor on a fast break and just launching a three. It was a bad shot. But again, Curry changed all that. In 2015-16, Curry drained 42% of 144 transition threes. Kerr had given Curry the ultimate green light, and it paid off. The Warriors won an unthinkable 73 games that year, and Curry's shooting was instrumental. It was also largely why the Warriors won 3 titles last decade, and a huge reason why the NBA is now obsessed with three-point shooting like never before. Curry's signature shot didn't just propel the Warriors to 5 consecutive finals, it's still reverberating throughout the basketball world, from the pros to college and especially the youngest aspiring superstars, who now see the game in a whole new way. He makes dominance look different, maybe even more attainable, but underneath his confidence and his exuberance, there's the tireless determination of the unparalleled three-point king.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.